fauxmad, a faux nomad, a wannabe. I'm a journalist and a storyteller and somebody who also just happens to really like being out on the road. A couple of the things that I've focused on as a journalist are labor and subcultures, by which I mean non-blood families, tribes, family, what the writer Amistad Maupin would have called logical family rather than biological family. So years ago, I was reading actually about Amazon warehouses, and I kind of came into this backwards in that I learned about some difficult conditions in the warehouses and the work, and a program called Camper Force that was hiring RVers and some van dwellers. And I had always thought that RVers were just the last of the great retiree pensioners who were out there tootling around and going to Niagara Falls and Old Faithful, and didn't realize that there was this whole circuit of people who were making a living and living on the road, often because, at least in the beginning, many of them came to love it, but many of the people I met in the beginning were kind of caught in this vise because federal minimum wage is $7.25 an hour, housing costs for sticks and bricks have just kept going up, and that can be really oppressive. So a lot of people, as I came to meet and came to learn, made this amazing decision and kind of did a hack where they said, well, what if I cut out housing costs and I go mobile? And I was completely fascinated with that. I thought it was ingenious and sometimes maybe a little scary. Just how do you make that work? And I wanted to learn more. I was out working on a magazine story, and I was not yet a fauxmad. I was a woman with a borrowed tent and a notepad. And as I got more into the project, I ended up starting a book project, and I knew I would be living on the road for months at a time, and had the good fortune to get Halen in my life. That's the van I'm sitting in right now. So before I did this project, I hadn't given much thought to people living in their vans. I have friends who are surfers, and I have friends who kind of overlapped with climbing culture, but I really hadn't spent much time thinking about it. And once I got to interview people and people were generous enough to share their stories, I was kind of blown away by the wide range of folks from, gosh, particularly among people who had lived a whole life before making this big change. I mean, one gentleman I talked to had run a halal goat farm, and then the price of hay went up because of the drought, and he ended up doing the van thing, and just people from all sorts of different experiences. So I guess if anything, I just got more and more curious. I don't think I was prone to think, oh, people who live in vans are all one way or all another. But now that I've been really directly exposed to just how many stories are out there, I see a van and I get curious. Having gotten to be a fauxmad and gotten to taste some of the life, it's definitely changed me. Originally, I deliberately bought a low mileage vehicle with the intent of having it for the project and then letting it go. And while in many ways this experience has taught me about minimalism, getting rid of the van is not a part of that picture, because I kind of fell in love with it. I love being out on the road. I love having everything I need in a contained space. I love being able to stop and sleep where I'm tired and get up and follow my curiosity. And yeah, I spend so much time on the grid in New York where I live that getting out here is just, it's like getting my brain pressure washed. I mean, it's an experience I'm really, really grateful to have had, and that, you know, by keeping the van in my life, I'll get to keep having.